WWE WrestlePalooza is tomorrow night, and we are going to give you our full match predictions. But before we get into that, Dylan, what's your excitement level, first and foremost, for WrestlePalooza, the very first PLE on ESPN?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's a solid card. I think we can all agree as of late, WWE has not been making it the easiest thing in the world to be a fan. With all the things as of late, Saudi Arabia getting WrestleMania 43, on top of the fact that they announced New Orleans for 42 and then canceled that, and now it's in Vegas for a second year in a row.
Big L.
Yeah, lots of. Luckily, it seems like we don't have to pay an extra $30 a month since we have YouTube TV for our cable. But
got that right. I am signed on to the ESPN app, so that's kind of step one. I logged in. I'm not paying nothing. So step two is seeing if I can actually watch this PLE.
Yeah, so
to see how
hopefully that is the case. Interesting to see. I know there are countless people that I'm sure don't have cable at all that are going to have to get a completely new streaming service now. Yeah, just hasn't been great as of late. But with that being said, this card is pretty good. I'm pretty excited for it, and I am interested to hear what you think's going to happen at this show, Mark.
Yeah, so I am fairly excited because this is a pretty stacked card. What match do you think is going to main event?
Cody and Drew.
Okay.
Yeah, Cody and Drew.
I think I agree. I think it's hard to not have your WWE Championship.
Yeah, I think Brock and Lesnar go on before Cody and Drew. I think they're like the second to last match.
All right, so let's get into some predictions here, Dylan. So, first up, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos are back together to take on the Vision, Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed, the Brons, Dylan. The Usos are back. So, let me ask you this before we dive into the match. Are the Usos back for good, or is this a one-time only deal?
I don't think they're completely out of singles competition. I don't think we've seen the last of either of them in singles competition. But I think this is more of a setting it so that the Usos are never really apart moving forward. You know what I mean? So that they're, even if they're doing singles stuff, they can just come back together in an instant as a tag team. I think that's kind of what they're setting up. But with that being said, I think we are about to get a nice tag team run from the Usos, I will say. And I'm assuming
Raw needs them.
And it will be a ton of fun, especially if they come out to the old theme.
Yeah, I think they will. So, talk me through this match, Dill, because I think they're in WWE loves to put themselves in tough spots with certain, I feel like mostly tag matches that are just like this, when you have a legendary, one of the greatest tag teams of all time in the Usos, who are reuniting to come back, but then they're facing this newer faction and kind of a newer team that have been tagging together in the Brons. So it's like, how is this going to play out? Are you going to give a legendary tag team, the Usos, a loss here, or are you going to kind of kill some of the momentum that this tag team of the Bron and Brons have here? That's what I don't understand. That's why I don't love this match, like, on paper, unless there's some shenanigans.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there will be some shenanigans. Maybe Paul comes back at Palooza to help the Brons. That would make sense. I can't see the Brons losing this match, though, especially after Bronson lost to Roman. I think they need a win, to be honest.
Is that who you're going with?
Going with the Brons.
Wow. I'm going with the Usos.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to be mad if the Usos win by any means. Like you said, it's a tough spot. Neither of them, I mean, nobody ever really benefits from a loss, but especially in this situation, neither of them are going to benefit from this loss. So it's hard to decide. I just think the Usos can manage the loss more than the Brons can. I think if the Brons lose, then they're kind of they're in a weird situation where they're kind of buried, and I don't love that. So I'm going with the Brons.
Yeah, I definitely hear you. I just don't know if WWE are going to give this tag team that's kind of a tag team but not really like a solidified tag team in their faction quite yet a major win.
I think this is how they do it, though.
One of the best.
You know what I mean?
Teams.
This is how they solidify themselves as a top-tier tag.
All right.
We'll see, though. We'll see.
All right. Yeah, so Dylan's going with the Brons. I'm going with the Usos. So let's move on to the next one, Dylan, because we have a vacant title that will be vacant no more. IYO SKY versus Stephanie Vaquer. Dylan, is it Steph's time? Is she getting? We're gonna get back on this major push for Steph. She's kind of haven't been doing much as of late with Steph.
I think Stephanie gets the win here, becomes your new women's champion. I think they need to, especially on the Raw side. I think, especially with Liv Out, it really feels like with Liv Out and Becky in the Intercontinental division, it really feels like Rhea and Io are sitting at the top. You got Liv and Naomi both out. So I think throwing Steph into that mix of, main event caliber women, which we already know she's main event caliber, but putting her in that spot on the main roster, I think will benefit her, but I think it'll also benefit WWE and the division as a whole. I think there's a spot for her right now. There's an open spot up for grabs, kind of, and I think she's the best person for it. This can be, it's not 100% the same, but similar to maybe what that push for Finn Balor was originally supposed to look like when he won that Universal Championship, straight coming up from NXT before he got hurt. I think that's been the big thing. I think they just haven't wanted her to do much because they're waiting to give her this big win, so they don't want to put her in situations that just I think they're just buying some time to get to this point. So I'm going with Steph. Getting the win. Wouldn't be completely shocked if Io won by any means, but Io being the one that got cashed in on, it just feels like, and especially with the things that have kind of been being put into place with her and Asuka and the Kabuki Warriors, feels like this is the time for Stephanie Vaquer to win the Women's World Championship and go on to kind of be the top woman in that division moving forward for right now.
So I fully agree with you. I think Steph's leaving as your Women's World Champion, and it just feels like they didn't do it before. Probably timing-wise, it just didn't feel like the right time, and I think that it now is the right time. It kind of just feels like the pieces kind of fell into place. When they called her up, she was scorching hot, and they were pushing her to the absolute moon. We talked about it when that was going on, if we thought Steph was going to win one of the world titles by the end of the year, and it seems like that's probably going to happen because I think there's a really good shot that Steph wins this title on Saturday night. So I'm with you, Dylan. We're both going to take Steph to walk out of WrestlePalooza as your Women's World Champion. So let's get into some mixed tag team action, Dylan, because we have the returning AJ Lee, which we haven't really talked about on the podcast much. We'll probably get into that on the next episode a little bit more, and her husband CM Punk taking on the Vision, Becky Lynch, and her husband Seth Rollins. Dylan, this match is a tough one to figure out. Talk me through it.
It is a tough one to figure out, man. Obviously, not only is this a situation where you have obviously two real-life couples, husband and wife, both Seth and Becky, and AJ and Punk, but this is also Punk versus Seth and AJ versus Becky would be just as big a match individually as this tag team match is, and that's the most rare thing I think in like these mixed tag matches, right? There's usually somebody that kind of sticks out to me. Nobody's sticking out here, dude. 4 full-fledged megastars are in this mixed tag match, and I don't think this will be the end of this feud by any means. I think adding AJ Lee into the mix just further cements my thoughts of that they're going to carry this thing all the way to Mania, and I think Punk is probably on the short list of favorites to win the Rumble this year, and probably go up against Seth at Mania and try to take that title off him, the match they wanted to do a couple years ago. We'll see, though. Yep. Anyway, I just can't see them having AJ Lee lose in her return. And I think that is truly what makes the most sense, I think, is AJ pinning Becky. So I think that's what's going to happen. I got Punk and AJ coming out on top and AJ pinning Becky. And then probably move on to a feud between AJ and Becky for the IC title in the near future.
I completely agree with you, Dylan. That is exactly how I think it's going down. I think AJ pins Becky to, like you just said, to kind of further that IC title story in the future, because it seems like Bayley's kind of currently occupied with her own little story, so I don't think she's going to be in the IC title picture in the near future. So I think that opens up AJ Lee to get a good feud with Becky, and then obviously they can continue CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, and I'm very excited for this match. I am surprised that we didn't get some sort of stipulation for it, because maybe that's further down the line towards the end of the year we can get a little bit of a mixed tag street fight, but I think regardless of this having a stipulation or not, this match is going to be an absolute blast, and I'm very, very, very excited to see it. Do you think CM Punk's going to come out with the Converse designed kick pads?
Yeah, I like that. I can see that. I like that a lot. They'll definitely, both of these couples will be matching, that's for sure. And it's going to be sick. We're going to get some sick.
We're already matching.
Yeah, we're going to get some sick gear.
Dude, this Seth and Becky gear.
Also, both of them coming out to Becky and AJ's themes was cool as well.
Oh, very cool. I did not know that. Again, 4 top-tier themes. So it'll be interesting to see kind of who gets their themes. Maybe they do them all individually, which is why there's only 5 matches on the card.
Yeah.
So let's move on to our next match, Dylan, because we've got one of John Cena's final matches, and that is the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena, Dylan. Over-under on this match length. 6 minutes?
I was going to say 7.5.
Okay. Brock's not going north of 10. I'll tell you that much.
He might, dude. I could see it going like 12 minutes.
Okay.
Not super, super long, but it's going to be a ton of AAs, ton of F5s, ton of suplexes. Hopefully all leading to John Cena finally getting to stand tall over Brock Lesnar, the one opponent who's kind of been able to have the upper hand on him throughout his career. And this would be him kind of getting rid of that final demon that he's never been able to beat.
You taking Cena to come out on top?
Yes, I got Cena.
Okay. I also agree. I've got the champ John Cena walking out of Palooza. You think there's any shenanigans post-match to set up his next feud?
Potentially. But not 100% sure. Not 100% sure.
All right.
I will say
before
this.
We get into the
I
match
will say this. I'm pretty sure his next appearance isn't supposed to be until Survivor Series after this. So that's why I'm kind of like, yeah.
Interesting. So we'll have to see. But before we get into this main event, Dylan, just to give you guys a bit of a sneak peek for next week's YouTube video on Thursday, we will be going over who AI thinks John Cena's final opponent will be. AI gave us 10 wrestlers ranked from most likely to least likely, so be on the lookout for that. That is coming out next Thursday. So, Dylan, we got good old Cody Rhodes back, and he is defending his title against Drew McIntyre. Is WWE going to shock the world and put the title on Drew like I'm starting to see some people kind of want WWE to do?
Listen, I mean, one of the things, right, it would be Cody doesn't really have too much of a story. So I think in the past with like stuff like that, there was like little things to worry about. They wanted to put the title on KO out of nowhere, but then it's like, but then you have Cena and Cody, no title. You want the title in that, like, but it feels like we're not worrying about anything like that at this moment. It feels like this could be a time, and how else to push Drew McIntyre back into the main event scene and make him probably your biggest main event heel by having him take down Cody Rhodes. So, fuck it, man. Yeah, that's going to be my official prediction. I got Drew winning this thing. I got Drew winning this thing, and I think I could see something like Randy Orton tries to help Cody, but it ends up costing Cody.
Okay. Very interesting. I like where your head's at, but I'm not man enough to go against Cody, so I'm going to pick Cody to come out on top here. I will say it does. This whole match has a weird. Doesn't sit right in my gut. So I could definitely very easily see Drew walk out with the WWE Championship.
Feels like something huge is happening, and that's really the only thing that I can put my finger on that's like that huge.
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys, I'm taking Cody, Dylan's taking Drew. You guys let us know in the comments who is going to win this match, and let us know all of your other predictions. You can sign up for our Patreon. It's only $1 a month. You get all of our content early and ad-free. You can listen to the Burning Hammer podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. New episodes drop every single Monday, and you can shop our merch, tpublic.com. All of that stuff will be linked in the description below. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to smash that subscribe button and make sure to click that bell so you get notified every single time we release a new video. With that being said, I'm Mark Izzo, he's Dylan O'Brien, and we'll catch you in the next one.